I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please stay standing while we recognize those who have passed since the last meeting. Josh Demarest. Evan Michael Martinez. William Bill H. Mitchell, Jr. Fire exits are directly behind me. If there's a problem, do not use the elevator. We'll go out this way. Roll call. Mr. Briggs. Present. Ryder. Here. Cassie.
Here.
And I'm here, and I believe Paul is on Zoom.
No, he's not here. That
he's
Paul
on the
is
beach.
me. I'm using his account.
Okay, so we have 4 people and 1 absent.
Here's me.
The petitioners. No attorney concerns. Our attorney's out of town also, but this would be a time for petitioners on Zoom to come in and ask any questions of the town business that we presently have on our agenda.
Is waving at me, so good.
Okay, so the people on, but
yeah, they're not waving.
Okay.
Well,
I thought Mike wanted to talk.
Mike wants to speak.
Well, Michael?
Yeah.
You want to talk and then we'll do the 3 motions, or?
Sure. Just so the board knows, earlier I spoke with the supervisor, and I also spoke with Mary Lou Christiana earlier today because she called me on a different matter. So I ran this scenario by her and she was fine with everything. I think the first thing that we should do is have the town board ratify its status as lead agency under seeker. As the board knows, you sent out the seeker notices. We sent them out actually for the board, and I have an affidavit of mailing, which I'll be filing 2 of them with the board rather. And they were sent out on the 9th to the respective agencies. So the 30 days is up. So all the board has to do is take a vote to ratify its status as lead agency under seeker. That would be the first step. The second step would be under your zoning law, any rezoning petition, and we have a rezoning petition for our site, requires a referral to the town planning board for its recommendation. So the second order of business would be to refer that rezoning petition to the planning board for its review and comment. They may or may not recommend on it right away. They may comment on it and hold their recommendation until they see a little further how the seeker review goes. Different towns are different with it, but that would be the second order of business. And then the third order of business would be to authorize your consultants, which are paid at my client's expense, Dennis Larios, engineering, Mary Lou Christiana for legal, and Bonnie Franzen for planning, to review the initial application documents and submit their review notes to the planning board for consideration, to the town board rather, for consideration at the next meeting the meeting after the next meeting, whenever we get on the agenda. That would be the only thing. Bonnie had emailed me and said that she does not have a full set of the documents. We dropped off a bunch at the town, but I can certainly get, if you want to check, I can certainly get Chazen to send more or send them directly to Bonnie, however the board wants us to do it. Not a problem.
You can send them directly to her.
Okay, we'll do the same thing with Dennis. I'll shoot them an email to make sure that they send electronic copies, and if they want paper copies, they can just let me know. We'll get that. But those are really the only three things I think procedurally we need to do.
All right, so while you're here, it's still on Mike. Roger can do the first.
I would like, in regards to the Nibley project, I'd like to make a motion to ratify this town board as lead agency status under CEQA.
That's Roger makes the motion. I have a second.
I'll second it.
Cassie seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
The motion's carried 4-0.
I would like to make a motion to refer the Somerset Partners LLC project to the planning board for recommendations on rezoning requests.
Roger makes that motion. Second.
Second it.
Cassie seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
And the motion's carried 4-0.
Thirdly, I'd like to make a motion to have the town consultants, Bonnie Frazian and Dennis Letrios and Mary Lou Christiana, be authorized to provide review comments at the next town board meeting on October 7th.
Roger makes that motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Briggs seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
That's 4-0. Bonnie Franson, are you on?
I'm on.
Did you hear what we just did?
I did not.
So during a motion, you can discuss the motion.
Right.
So let's just discuss with Bonnie what we just did because she just came on to this. Bonnie, Roger's gonna read the motion that we just made.
We made three motions, Bonnie. The first one was to make this town board the lead agency under CEQA.
Okay.
The second was to refer Somerset Partners LLC project to the planning board for recommendations on rezoning requests.
Yes.
And the third one was to have our town consultants, you, Dennis Letrios, and Mary Lou Christiani, to be authorized to provide review comments at the next town board meeting on October 7th.
Okay.
I think Michael has discussed it might not be the next meeting, it might be the meeting after that. Is there any conversation?
I was gonna say it's a pretty big project, so the planning board may need a little bit more time than a single meeting. It may need a few, but as long as the process moves forward, I think you've declared yourselves lead agency. And the next step would be to determine, and I don't know if Michael has spoken to you about it, and he can, is whether ultimately there'll be a negative declaration or a positive declaration, which essentially means, are we doing an environmental impact statement or not doing an environmental impact statement for the project? And Michael, I don't know to what extent your paperwork or anything addresses sort of next steps in seeker.
Yeah, it does. It's Bonnie, it's a good point. It has we do have an address. We have a seeker addendum put together with it. There's a very lengthy narrative. Then there's a whole zoning petition. I mean, we have a ways to go. What we're suggesting to the town board is to engage in a expanded EAF process. We would like to get an egg deck. Naturally, a pause deck is, that's it for the project. If we were pause deck, there is no project. So if we'd like to get all our ducks in a row and be able to get a negative declaration, for that, we'll have to go through an expanded EAF process.
Okay.
But I also told the board, Bonnie, that you had not gotten a copy of any documents, and I will make sure that Chazen sends you an electronic copy of everything that was submitted. And the same for Mary Lou and for Dennis. If you need paper or you want paper or big maps or something, I can have them send you a
send
set
to me directly
too. Right, Michael,
yeah, that'd be great.
Michael,
yeah,
you can speak offline on the rest of this stuff, but the way that the three motions were made and satisfied.
And so it's fine with me. I think, Bonnie, it's okay with you.
Yeah, it was fine. I think you took the actions that you could take at this point in time, and you're making your referrals to the planning board, and the upcoming meetings and workshops, you'll address the environmental review. And just for the board's benefit, for those of you who maybe haven't been so involved in the environmental review process, this is a type 1 action. And type 1 actions are more likely to require preparation of environmental impact statement, but they are not required to. And oftentimes a project they'll prepare exactly what Mike is indicating, an expanded environmental assessment form that essentially reviews all the traffic, reviews all the stormwater, reviews all the environmental impacts, and as project modifications embodies changes to ensure that the project then doesn't have a significant adverse impact. So when we throw around the words negative declaration and positive declaration means that you've determined that an EIS has to be prepared, and negative declaration means you find that based on all the evaluations and project modifications done, one is not necessary. So that is sort of the next step in the seeker process, a determination of significance. And the applicant is requesting that you take a look at the studies that have been provided, will be provided. And from their perspective, from time frame perspective, they would like to be able to satisfy seeker with this expanded environmental assessment form. The reason being, when you go into an EIS process, you have to scope the document, you have to have public input, you have to have certain comment periods, you have to coordinate with the other agencies, and there is a time element to that. So again, you've taken the actions you need to take at this time, and then, as you move forward, you'll determine to what extent you need to engage and to what extent you engage in what the process will be for the environmental review process going forward.
All right, thanks very much. And
thank you to the board.
thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, without Mr. Kiger here. The right thing to do. Let's go to town board to approve bills as audited.
Move.
Second. TJ second, all in favor?
Aye.
Town board to approve the assessors department for August 21, building department, justice court department, highway department, town clerk's report, maintenance department report, dog control officer's report, supervisor's report, the Ellenville Wawarsing Youth Commission report.
I'll move to approve 3 through 11. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the motions are carried. Town board to authorize the town clerk to advertise to set the following dates in October to set budget workshop meetings to discuss the 2022 budget, October 4th and 5th, 13th and 14th if necessary. Have a motion?
Move it. Second.
DJ makes the motion, Roger seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
And it's 4-0 with 1 absent. Town board authorized the town clerk to advertise for a full-time position of laborer / CDL, Tony?
Yes.
So that should actually include laborer / CDL license person at the town of Wawarsing Highway Department. The salary is based on current IBEW union contract. Applications are due back to the town clerk's office on October 8th, 2021 at noon.
Move it.
Roger makes a motion.
Second it.
Nazzy seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried 4-0. Town board to authorize the supervisor to execute the quote from Smith's Wholesaling, Inc. in the amount of $3,525 for the purchase of a Badger ME mobile transceiver kit for the Wawarsing Water District.
I'll move it.
Jesse makes a motion.
Second.
Roger seconds it. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
That motion's carried 4-0. Town board to authorize the supervisor to execute the proposal from Subsurface Technologies in the amount of $3,790 for the removal and reinstallation of reservoir number 1 pump for the Cohasset Water District.
I'll move it.
Jesse makes a motion, Roger seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried 4-0 with 1 absent. Town board authorized the purchase of AGG by Enterprise V Pro in the amount of $6,456.40 from Hewlett Packard.
Move it.
TJ makes a motion.
Second.
Roger seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
4-0 with 1 absent. Town board to approve payment application number 1 in the amount of $70,338 to TAM Enterprises for the Wawarsing Water District Water Treatment Facility and Well Field.
Move it.
Roger makes a motion.
Second.
TJ seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried 4-0 with 1 absent. Town board to approve the selective insurance bill in the amount of $2,893 for the required builder's insurance for the Wawarsing Water District Treatment Facility.
Move it.
Roger makes that motion.
Second.
Jesse seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
4-0 with 1 absent. Town board to approve invoice 11258 in the amount of $45,569.60 to H. Ulsterhout Excavating Inc. for work performed on the salt shed at the Highway Department.
I'll move it. Second.
TJ makes a motion. Roger seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried 4-0 with 1 absent. Town board to authorize the town clerk to publish the notice of complete application for the Nappaneck Sewer Improvement Area DEC ID 3-515/00084/00003.
I'll move it.
Cassie makes a motion.
Second.
Roger seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
The motion is carried 4-0 with 1 absent. Town board to approve Berlin Kohler to receive retro pay as of July 1st, 2021 for her successful completion of water safety instructor. She will receive a $1 increase.
I'll move it.
Second.
Cassie makes that motion. Roger seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
The motion is carried 4-0 with 1 absent. Town board to approve the Ellenville High School varsity cross-country team to host a meet at Lippman Park on October 6th, 2021 from 4 o'clock to 6:30.
I'll move it.
Roger makes the motion.
I'll second.
As you seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
The motion's carried. All right, Mr. Bays is okay. Mr. Briggs?
Just a couple of things. We scheduled some budget meetings next week, I believe, Monday, Tuesday, 20th and 21st in October. They're on Zoom. Town hall is open, so you can come to those. You know, oftentimes people complain that they have no input, or, you know, my taxes are too high, and so on and so forth. So this is an opportunity to come and see how the process works. So come be a part of government, and kind of like if you don't vote, you can't complain. Well, come see what really goes on. And,
How we make me look.
yeah. I think thus far things are going quite well, and I would foresee not a minimal tax increase, if any tax increase this year. I think it looks pretty good. So, so I commend the entire board on that. The other is one of the remembrances, actually 2 remembrances this evening. One was Bill Mitchell. I happen to work with Bill at the prison. He was a lieutenant, great guy, the whole family, just a great bunch of gentlemen. We did a lot of work with the Elks Lodge here in Nappaneck. He will be missed. He was just a great man, a humble man, and I would call him a friend personally, and will be missed. The community lost a good guy. And second is Josh Demers, 22-year-old young man that was a member of the First Aid Squad in Ellenville, EMT. He was a firefighter 1, served at Accord Station 2. You know, just a tragic end to a very short life. I saw something on television the other day, 17.6 veterans a day commit suicide. Josh was not a veteran, but as a first responder, oftentimes, I'll say we, as a first responder, we go through a lot and see a lot. We internalize it, God knows how sometimes. But it was a life cut short. And just remember, when you see the blue light, the green light, the red light, these men and women are out there to take care of us as volunteers. It's a lot of time involved. And there's a lot of other stuff that goes on behind the scenes that we don't know and don't always understand. But let's, you know, keep them in our hearts, keep them in our prayers, and remember that when the brown stuff's hitting the fan, these people are willing to stand in front of the fan. And that's not always easy. So God rest them, both Bill and Josh. God rest their soul.
I'll just echo what TJ said. And other than that, I have nothing tonight.
Yes.
Okay. I do want to remind the public that if you are in the Wawarsing Water District, we're excited that the transmission line down 209 is moving along at a really good clip. Bellamy finished their section of it. Ousterhout is hooking up his. And in the very near future, they're going to be running water through the Ousterhout portion of the transmission line. And when that happens and it gets to the Board of Health, there's the water, the tank will be filled. And we'll be one more step closer to actually turning water on taps. In order for that to happen, though, if you want your Wawarsing water connected to your house, you must come to me or someone in the town hall or to one of my pop-ups at Linden Park, either on the next 2 Wednesdays or the next 3 Saturdays in the morning. From Saturdays, there's 8 to 11, and Wednesdays are 5 to 8. I'll have a notary with me in those locations, and you can get your license, your temporary license, so the contractor can come on your property and connect your water. So it's imperative that we get that done. Lateral bids are going to go out very soon, and once the bids packages have been, and once it's been bid out and accepted, and we choose our contractors, then we'll want to be connecting. So let's not put off getting our licenses signed. Let's get them done and get them back to me. Sam wanted me to remind everybody that we're doing the autumn home and business decorating contest. It was a rousing success last year. We had lots of Halloween decor up. Some of you guys really went out of your way to really brighten up the town and the village, and we hope that you'll do it again. We're going to have some great prizes. More on that in the future. I want to thank the government of the village and the government of the town and all the firefighters and first responders that came out to celebrate 20 years of 9/11. The ambulance looked nice and clean, and everybody was in their dress blues and looked fantastic. The firefighters brought the trucks and they put the flag up, and taps always makes them cry, and it was no different this time. And I would really appreciate the remembrance. And I know we all know where we were 20 years ago. And as TJ just said, sometimes you just see too much. So remember to reach out to those people that are on the front lines. And that's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Roger, we need a motion, because I was talking to Mr. Knapp from the Masonic Lodge. Remember we passed the last name, we passed the October 2nd touch and truck at the airport. Right. They want it switched to the 9th.
So I will move that we okay a touch truck event handled by the Masonic Lodge to be at the just where is the airport on October 9th this year. Piece of paper.
I'll second, and that's Columbus Day weekend.
Thank you, Brett. Roger made the motions. Who seconded it?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
4-0 with one absent.
Hey.
The 9/11 ceremony was Robert Berger and Paul Kraft have been organizing it for probably 20 years. And Pat Wadinsky from the fire department has, come together and the last number of years to put that together. It was very well attended. Is John Weinick? It's John Weinick, right? He was there in the dress.
He was there in his dress.
Right. He had mentioned after, I didn't know this, but he had mentioned after the ceremony that he was at, ground zero that day with a unit that he was with, I guess. So he just mentioned that to me because I had mentioned Robert Bobby King, who was at that time one of the firemen that rushed to the scene and never returned home to his family. And his parents couldn't attend the event, but they still live up in Ulster Heights, and they thanked the town and people that organized the ceremony to mention him during that ceremony. Again, during this pandemic and with everything going on around the world, this has been a pretty hard time with day-to-day living, and we pray for everybody that that things get better. Treatment plant in Nappaneck, Institution Light before the Institution Bridge. That project will be starting Monday. It was exciting to have. We had a groundbreaking last year, and we'll have another one soon when they actually do break ground. Broke ground, when the beginning of the project, the entire project, and now we're at that specific site for the treatment center, which will be the Stephen F. Bradley water treatment plant. So looking forward to that. I believe that's all I have. So, make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.